Alright, so I'm gonna be real. I played Spider-Man Miles Morales when it first came out and I made a video on it. But to be frank, to be real, to be honest, I don't think I showed this game the respect it deserved. I did the normal dude reviews video game thing. I didn't dive deep. I didn't explain the character and the trauma and trials this character had to go through, the proving this character had to go through to not just be considered
Spider-Man's sidekick.
Hey, you think you're gonna add that new Spider-Man too?
The kid? Yeah, maybe. Original's just my guy, you know?
Yeah, I know.
So here we go. He stands, isolated and spaced out from everyone, not knowing anyone in Harlem. Keeping to himself and his music, Miles knows no one. In this game, Miles moves to Harlem, a place where he doesn't know anyone, a place where he learns to be Spider-Man. I don't know about you, but my first interaction to the character of Spider-Man was Peter. It was the main man, the only Spider-Man I knew of at the time. But then came this Spider-Man, full of artistic ideas, full of heart, and this Spider-Man had a different culture, and it's so nice and refreshing. Stan Lee once said,
"You know one of the greatest things about Spider-Man's outfit, his costume?
What?
He is completely covered. So any kid could imagine he's Spider-Man because no color of the skin shows. He could be black under that. He could be red. He could be yellow. He could belong to any race. And that
True.
wasn't done purposely. It was done accidentally. But I think it was the best thing we did, making him so that he could be anybody under that costume."
and I really think that is one of the best things about Spider-Man. It doesn't matter who's behind the mask. I think the thing that matters most is the heart, is the relatability. Spider-Man is always juggling both his personal life and his Spider-Man life. This always causes problems in Peter or Miles or Miguel or Gwen's life because they are trying to live two different lives. A life of normality and a life of responsibility. And this game understands that. Insomniac understands that. They get that Miles is going to have to make tough calls. Grab the groceries or follow the convoy. Tell Finn he's Spider-Man and risk her knowing and being in more danger than she's already in, or not tell her and have her just see Spider-Man. I feel like as much as the great power comes great responsibility is a part of Spider-Man, I feel like the relatability is just as important. The consequences, the failures, make for a better Spider-Man. Those events make Miles understand, they make him understand that you gotta be ready for everything, even if that means risking it all. Even if it means fighting Rhino to save your friend and mentor's life. Even if that means absorbing a reactor's energy and releasing it as far away from the people as possible. Risking your life for the people. It's worth it, because in the end the people trust you. They understand that this Spider-Man has their backs no matter what.
He's our Spider-Man.
While Peter protects his home, Miles protects his. For every mistake any version of Spider-Man does or makes, there will always be consequences, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because for every mistake comes a lesson to learn from. You know, Spider-Man to me was the one I could always relate to the most. I was the outcast. I was the guy that sat in the back of class listening to my emo music.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
I was the guy who loved and adored photography and film. I had one friend and I talked to no one else. I always saw Spider-Man as the hero that never gave up, no matter what. Even if his heart and soul are shattered into a million pieces, he still went on. Still saved people, still swung around with a happy-go-lucky attitude, even though he's broken on the inside. I think that's what makes Spider-Man so relatable, so insatiable, so human. No matter who is under the mask, they're still bearing that responsibility to protect the people, to do everything in their power to make things right. Spider-Man Miles Morales is a great reminder of that. With constant reminders of multiverse shenanigans, it's nice to get pulled back down to earth where a young man helps his city, his home, his family, and learns the lessons and the oath of Spider-Man along the way.
His name, and then I figured just for fun, I'm gonna give him personal problems. Then I thought I'd make him a teenager, because there were no teenage superheroes that I knew of at the time.